On this week's show, the Grind Waterfowl TV heads back to Kansas for an exciting late January mallard hunt.
It's a lifestyle for the rough and rugged kind. The tougher the game, the longer the pain, the better the ride. We do what we can to stay ahead, cause the modern world wants us left for dead. You better believe as long as we breathe, the sun's gonna rise. We dig real deep, try a little harder, buckle down tight, go a little farther so we can look back and be proud of what we've done. Sometimes we gotta work under the gun, don't sweat the battle, make sure the war's won. Keep on keeping on, cause the bottom line, it's a labor of love we call the grind.
The Grind is brought to you by Lucky Duck Premium Decoys, Masters of Deception, Dakota Decoy, Premium Gunning Decoys for demanding hunters, Wild Ear, Custom Fit Hearing Enhancement and Protection, Rio, the official ammunition of the Grind Waterfowl TV, Pro Drive, shallow water outboards, authentic Wyoming high mountain seasonings, Sitka, specialized outdoor wear and equipment, Delta Waterfowl, the Duck Hunters Organization, and these fine sponsors.
The Hutchinson region of Kansas serves as a major pit stop for migrating waterfowl, as new birds typically begin to arrive in early to mid-November. Abundant wetland marshes and reservoirs load up with birds that fly out to feed in nearby fields of milo and winter wheat. Earlier in the season, the Grind traveled to this noted waterfowl mecca in central Kansas to join High Caliber Outdoors for a fast-paced mid-November field hunt for ducks and geese. This week, the Grind returns to Kansas during the late second season, but the conditions are different. The rafts of ducks and geese that once covered these noted waterfowl rest areas have now moved on further down the flyway. Ice begins to cover the shallow roosts. The marsh is quiet. As one opportunity ends, however, another new opportunity emerges. There are approximately 3.5 million miles of river in the United States alone. Major river systems like the Platte River, Missouri River, and Mississippi River are renowned staging areas and migration routes for migrating ducks and geese that get plenty of notoriety. Today, however, the Grind travels down roads less traveled, obscure small river hunting opportunities that can hold staggering pockets of waterfowl late into the season. From the foothills of the Rocky Mountains to the Great Plains and beyond, small rivers often remain open, and these small rivers often hold pockets of mallards. Regulations can vary from state to state regarding access, but these small river mallard pockets are often accessible and can often provide exceptional hunting opportunities long after much of the migration has passed. The Grind's Bill Wilroth joins Adam Gilkey of High Caliber Outdoors to showcase this often overlooked hunting opportunity.
We are back in central Kansas with Adam and Ben at High Caliber Outdoors, and it's the second duck opener. We've made it tradition to come down here and hunt with these guys. Adam knows I like mallards, so he always tries to find me a real cherry mallard hunt for the first hunt. And Benny found this little river that has been loaded up with mallards, so we're hopeful we're gonna have the sun at our back, wind at our back, and we're getting set up here. We're using 3 dozen fully flocked Dakotas. We'll run 4 new Lucky HDs, and we'll get her done here. Early light this morning, it was quite a show. The birds were getting up. There's some gravel pits nearby. They were getting up to go feed. I don't think you looked up in the sky at any one point and didn't see a massive flock.
When we got in here, we decided to pull the decoys off hard right on the blind to get them to center up for the camera. But the ducks were actually wanting to finish inside the decoys, inside the Lucky HD spinners, and we're running a fully flocked floater spread, duck spread. And ducks were eating it up. They were eating it up so much that they were off camera when we were shooting them. So we decided to push our decoys a little bit further out, get them to center out up in front of the biggest part of the river, the widest part.
Typically early in the morning, and it was the same way this morning. We want to get here, you're anxious to hunt, and you're nervous, you don't think the birds are going to work right in a low light. Really low light, sometimes they'll work really well, and then as you get towards sunrise, they start acting a little goofy. And we noticed that this morning again, and then about 8:30, 9 o'clock, they started acting like we like ducks to do, and we started getting some ducks hanging over the decoys.
Get ready, guys. Get ready. Take them. We're here in central Kansas. We're actually hunting the Ark River. It is a public river, but you still have to have private access to get into the river. A lot of ducks hit this river late. We're at the tail end of the season. We're in the last 9 days here. We just got over our split. Split starts the first weekend of January, skips 3 weeks, and then it reopens the last week of January. And that last week is dynamite.
Good shot. It's kind of a cool system they have set up. They do a split, so they shut down like the first part of January. I believe they shut this year January 3rd. And then their season's closed for 2.5 weeks. And it lets birds accumulate in the area. They become a little less educated than they are toward the end of their regular season. And we've just made a habit of coming down here because they have birds, and we like shooting mallards late in January, and central Kansas has them. These birds come down the central flyway and they stall out here. They dip down into Oklahoma, then they get some reverse migration back, but this particular area is always loaded with mallards in late January.
Kelly. We're dead smack center in the central flyway. These birds are coming straight out of Canada, right down through the grain belt, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, coming right here in Kansas and hanging up here. We hold a lot of birds here. You know, we don't have a big populace of waterfowl hunters. It's growing more and more, but there's not a lot of waterfowl hunters here in Kansas, and that in conjunction with Quivira National Wildlife Refuge, Cheyenne Bottoms, all the grain that they can eat, it's a waterfowler's mecca. It's a dream out here. Kill it.
This part of Kansas is kind of right 3/4 of the way through the central flyway, and the pattern of ducks in migration, geese in migration anymore, they won't move unless they have to. They don't get a lot of snow in this area. We drove down and we had 8-10 inches of snow on the ground until we got about 60 miles north of this area. So the central flyway birds tend to, as they get pushed out of the fields and water north, end up down. They'll go as far as they have to find the water and open feed. And this particular area just loads up with birds. They will dip down into Oklahoma, but for some reason they'll come right back north, and it's just an incredible area to hunt.
Right here on the right, right up front. Right up front. Kill it. Good shot.
Max. This time of year also, because it is late January, all of the small water holes, ponds are froze up, but these little shallow, fast-running rivers stay open. And it's incredible how many birds roost on it during the day. The key to any waterfowl, particularly mallards, is find open water. And these little rivers are shallow, they're sandy, they're beautiful, beautiful rivers, and they definitely hold the birds.
Well, this part of Kansas, you have a lot of moist soil habitat. You got Quivira, you got Cheyenne bottoms. And when those things lock up, that moist soil habitat is no longer of any use to those ducks. They start hitting the open water, these gravel pits, these rivers, and of course they feed in the cornfields and the milo fields in the area. But like I said, later on in the year, these open rivers, they're just dynamite. The ducks do it right. They like the open water. They like calling because we've been off for 3 weeks. It's kind of like hitting the reset button on these birds. It's like it's a brand new year. Kill it. We're in a full moon phase right now, but as you can see, we've got a lot of gray clouds on us. It helps these ducks move during the day. We get clear skies. It really affects the field hunting. If you time your hunt with a full moon, it can be really tough. A lot of times, if you don't have the weather or the cloud cover, these birds will sit until right at shooting light. You might get 5–10 minutes in a field, but that's why we're hunting water. We hunt water in a full moon. They generally hit it in daylight hours. Got him?
Next. We've been coming with Ben and Adam at High Caliber Outdoors for, I believe this is our 5th year, and they treat us incredibly well. They have a lot of birds around. They put us on ducks, they put us on geese. They're in tune with the area, and it was a tough year. 2015 was a tough hunting season, and looking for footage for the show, we knew we needed to get back to High Caliber Outdoors in central Kansas, and once again the boys came through for us.
Guys from the grind are great to hunt with. If these cameras weren't here, we'd be doing it the same way as if they are here. We're true hunters. We like the purest form of waterfowling. We like to decoy the birds, shoot them at 10–15 yards. Everybody does. And in different areas of the nation, yeah, you can't do that. You got to take what's given. But here, if you do your scouting, you put in the time, you do the hard work, you can kill these birds right. 10–15 yards is right to us.
Next. What we hunted with this morning, we've got a new fully flocked floating mallard out, flock drakes only, but the contrast in them is just incredible. A lot of guys really like them in the sunshine, but like a day like today when we had a real gray, no sun, they still hold a lot of contrast. Painted decoys work just fine, but there's something about flocked material. It has some luster to it, so when you have a gray, dull day like we did today, the bird still looks alive. And then once the sun comes out, they really pop.
Got him?
The other thing that we've noticed on our decoys is the incredible movement they get in a little bit of current. The decoy has a little concave bottom to it. On top of the shape of the decoy, which catches wind, they swim like a live duck. It's just incredible. I'd like to say we did it on purpose, but we lucked out in the design, and they swim and look exactly like a live duck.
Kill him. Well, for one thing, the Lucky Duck, it's got an injection molded wing. These injection molded wings, we've never broke one. The other thing that makes the Lucky HD so powerful for us as guides and so handy is that it has an on and an off switch. So you're not bumping the same switch. So if you get your decoys out of sync, one's spinning, one's not, all you do is hit the on button again and the other one spins. So it's a real nice handy tool as a guide. I don't have to run out there, shut one off, turn it back on, hit the on switch again. It makes our life easy. You know, this river that we're on today, this is about the biggest river that we hunt. It's a navigable river, so it is public land. But again, you do have to have private access to access the river. But like I said, this is about the biggest river that we're gonna hunt. We do hunt some smaller rivers. All those are private ground, so you have to have some kind of access. The other rivers that we hunt, I mean, you could shoot clear across them. This river is a little bit too big for that, so you actually gotta work the bird and get them into the spread.
Well, we are picking away at them here. We have good wind, but no sun. So the bunches aren't really doing it, but we're picking away at singles and doubles, and they're eating it up pretty well. Max is loving this. It's about knee-deep water for him, and he can get to them and back to us quick. He's having a field day here. So this was Max's second Kansas hunt, and really his first small river hunt, and he loved it. He did an excellent job today. He's cold. He hasn't eaten in a couple days. He gets all nervous when we're going hunting. He'll eat like a pig when we get back to the cabin, but he's come so far in the hunting season this year. When we first got him, he'd never hunted ducks. He was an upland dog. We got him on ducks early, and now, boy, we've turned it into a first-class duck dog. He's learning to mark birds really well. And the most important thing with any dog, and you'll see this with Max, is his steadiness. I can tell him to sit, he sits, he watches. The beauty of that is it's a safety factor. You don't have a dog running around with guys shooting. And they're also marking birds. He'll mark multiple birds, and without running wild, a dog is capable of doing that. And Max is probably the most steady dog I've ever been over. He'll sit there just like he's sitting here right now until you say his name and then stay out of his way.
Kill him. Well, typically we shoot mallards primarily. Here in Kansas, you can shoot 5 mallard greenheads. You can also shoot 2 hens towards your 5, and then you get 1 bonus duck. We shot 1 pintail today. Like I said, we just don't get the odd duck very often. Usually we're shooting 5 birds and we're done, because that's all we shoot is mallards here. You know, we cover a pretty big area. We try not to drive any further than we have to, but we cover probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 rivers, one of which is public, which is the one we're on now. The other ones are all private, and it's just dynamite shooting. I mean, again, you put in the scouting, you put in the time, we locate the birds, we get on the ground, locate them in our trucks, get it down to fine-tuning it, really find the X, where they want to be, what sandbar they're hitting. They're out there, you can find them. Nice. Good boy, Maxwell. I'm the type of guy that as little calling as you need to do to finish the bird. We started out real slow and soft this morning. The birds, they just weren't finishing. You know, typically what I'll do is hit them on the corner and let them do their thing, maybe quack them in a little bit. They weren't liking it. We decided to switch gears a little bit, hit them hard, and the first group that came in, they just did it perfect. As soon as we started hitting it hard, they just locked up, cupped in, came right in. We were killing them at 10, 15 yards. I don't typically like to call that hard, but again, it's a gray day. These birds haven't been shot at, haven't been called at for 3 weeks. You know, you gotta kind of adjust, and we adjusted the decoys, we adjusted the calling, and it worked. Kill him now, kill him now.
Coming from South Dakota and the Missouri River, we get big bunches of mallards for the most part. And we can down here also. Today, a lot of times on these small rivers, they're out feeding and they're trickling back. So today we'd have maybe a bunch of 3 or 4, a lot of singles, a lot of doubles, and it's a lot of fun. You know, you can take turns on them. They decoy really well. It's just it's a little bit different scenario for me because we are used to bigger bunches of ducks, but it's cool, and you can take turns shooting them, so it's a lot of fun.
Visit our website, www.thegrindwaterfowl.com, where you will find past episodes as well as tips and tactics from the boys here at The Grind. Follow The Grind on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.